Step right up and see just how much an amnesiac can discover in less than a day, putting to shame all those who have spent months looking for the same thing. It's time to talk about, analyze, review, break down, theorize, and rant about Silo's third season episode, A Dark Web. Spoiler alert! Hit it! So, last episode ended with Juliet's nurse realizing Jules hadn't swallowed her vitamins,
which are actually memory-forgetting pills.
But we open with more pill-swallowing pretense, yet the nurse acts as if nothing is wrong. This is damn peculiar. And in addition to that, Jules asks the amenable guard to let her walk the silo on her own, which he agrees to. Just like that. Just like that. But there's got to be more secret surveillance. Camille hasn't controlled Jules for 3 months to be so lax about everything now. Anyway, all this developing incongruity will have to wait as we head back into the past and catch up with Daniel attending a veterans meeting. It's a memorial for Juanita. Someone we never knew existed before? Seems to be. I'm guessing he was part of Daniel's sister's squadron. He was, and Daniel's trying to figure out why the squadron's comm system was downgraded to take use during the 80s, which surprised everyone, even an ex-military guy like Juanita's dad. He tells Daniel that because the tech was so old, it would have been easy to record any conversation the squadron had, which makes both no sense why the downgrade happened, but also that it's highly likely a recording exists somewhere. Anyway, back in the present, the nurse tells Camille that Jules has been spitting out pills in various sinks.
Oh, makes you wonder why she didn't just flush them down the toilet. Everyone knows that's how you get rid of pills you don't want.
I guess such knowledge was lost to time for everyone in the silo, Doc.
You mean when they were made to forget everything during the last rebellion 140 years ago?
Exactly. If you forget everything, you'd also forget simple tricks like that.
That's a highly unlikely explanation for a very stupid move on Jules's part, McCluck.
I'm here to serve, Doc. Anyway, Camille doesn't do anything about this newfound knowledge. Yet. And we see that Juliet has sent a message to Shirley asking about Lucas. She sent a message via Porter? Jules isn't very good at this subterfuge thing, is she? I'm not too sure what the game is right now, but that's what's happening. And anyway, we see Shirley and Knox are in a relationship now. Is that a new thing? It's possible, yeah. Anyway, Shirley heads out while Jules has actually gone to meet Paul, but he isn't in his home, so she decides to talk to his wife instead. And just because Kat has a bandaged wrist, Jules concludes she's the outsider who got hurt during the breaking in IT.
Talk about jumping to conclusions. She's actually right about this, dog. But how? Are you telling me out of a population of 10,000, only one person has a wounded wrist? And not only that, but Juliet figures out it has to be Paul's wife, while the secret police, who has access to cameras and surveillance everywhere, hasn't found one of the most wanted people in the silo? That's what we're going with, Doc. Oh, okay. Cool. Carry on. Jules wants to know where Lucas is, and Kat doesn't even deny her association with the outsiders and tells Jules she believes Lucas died during the rebellion and was one of the many bodies incinerated. Just like Bernard was. Hold on a sec, I thought incinerating Bernard was an exception because his body was too damaged by the fire and poison to bury and essentially recycle into the ground. But now you're telling me that they incinerated tons of others as well? I'm not telling you, Doc. That's just what Kat told Jules. You remembered about the body recycling, Doc. But the writers didn't. Well, maybe there were just far too many dead during the rebellion to cope with burying. Kat did say the incinerators were running 24/7 after the rebellion. Then why did Sims make it a point to say that they had to incinerate Bernard like it was a special exception or something? Hopefully, we'll get answers soon. Or maybe being incinerated is code for they're still alive somewhere. All of them?
Oh, no, just Bernard and Lucas.
The two people who actually know the silo's secrets. While you guys are speculating, Camille is reporting back to the AI. She tells the AI that Jules looking for Lucas could be a good thing. It could lure Kennedy out, and they could capture the rebels, alleviating the need to make the entire population forget. But the AI is not having any of that. Amnesia is a proven technique as far as it's concerned, and it allows everyone to survive and start afresh as opposed to, you know...
initiating the safeguard and kill everyone.
Yeah, that.
Kill everyone or make everyone forget? I guess mass amnesia would be preferable. At least everyone would survive.
Pretty gloomy options for Silo 17. Meanwhile, back in the past, Daniel tells Helen, the reporter, about the possibility the squadron's recording might be available somewhere on the dark web.
Ooh, spooky.
Why would it be online? Surely if it was recorded, it would have been by military officials, either the Yanks or the Iranians. Surely. Right? Or enthusiastic ham radio operators or something. Ah, yeah, good point. Those people are everywhere. And since we need that recording, it's got to be in the hands of people somewhere, Right, that might not be so easy for Helen to find, as she's just been fired.
Wow, they don't mess about in the online blogging industry.
It might not be as clear-cut as that, McCluck, as the captain of the Nimitz, who was also at Juanito's memorial, is seen in the background of Helen's former workplace.
The mystery deepens.
There's no mystery there, Gigi. The military are tightening up any loose ends.
But if they didn't want anyone to know, why keep Charlotte alive?
To introduce us to the maker of the Forget-Me pill?
That's no way to keep a secret, Commander. And you also have to wonder why they used old tech for the squadron that was so easy to hack.
I'm sure we'll get answers soon enough.
Oh, I'm sure we will. They just better make sense is all.
Oh, well, all that will have to wait, as Paul's talking to Orla's parents, who are really worried about their daughter's sudden disappearance.
Back in the present, I see.
Orla's sister tells Paul that Orla had a boyfriend who also dated the previous Shadow of Supply before he dated Orla.
The guy likes dating the women who shadow the head of Supply. That's not suspicious at all.
Okay, so at least we're going to hopefully find out what's going on with Orla.
I'm sure we will, but first, we need to check in with the past.
And back and forth we go. You know, narratively speaking, when you go back and forth between two events like this, it's because they're happening concurrently, so we as the audience can tell what's happening at the same time. But here, that's not even the case. These events are centuries apart. It's just, it keeps irritating me.
It's just how this story's being assembled, McCluck.
Yeah, well, okay, I know I keep saying I don't like those flashbacks, but that's because they remain unconnected to the show's present. Nothing that happens in them will be of any benefit to any of the protagonists in the present. There's no link between the two stories. If, for instance, we saw Lucas was being taught by the AI about the past, we'd feel more connected to the story because there would be a higher likelihood that Lucas or whoever was learning about the past would be able to use whatever they were learning for the benefit of the silo, but that's not the case here. Disconnected story elements make for bad storytelling, if you ask me.
You took the words right out of my mouth, McCluck.
And I don't see how these story threads will merge, considering they're, centuries apart.
Hopefully we will get some answers soon enough, McCluck. So, the recently fired Helen, along with Daniel, are on their way somewhere.
To the dark web!
The dark web's not a physical location, Gigi.
Well, Helen, who knows her way around the dark web, got in touch with someone named Steve, and they have to meet him in person.
Like, that's not suspicious at all.
And upon meeting Steve, he wants to clone Daniel's congressional badge before giving any recording to them.
Like that's gonna happen.
Yeah, like Daniel would jeopardize the security of the establishment like that.
He gives Steve his card.
Oh.
So he clones the badge, but he doesn't give them the recording. Well, he tells them that the deal was to tell them if a recording existed or not. He does, so the deal is done.
Well, that's not very nice of, Steve.
But once Daniel tells Steve Charlotte is his sister, he changes his mind.
You're telling me this super careful Steve didn't know Daniel Keene was Charlotte Keene's brother? That's probably the most unbelievable part of this entire interaction.
You want more unbelievable? Because there is more. Steve saved the 20 seconds of recording that had been captured on cassette tape.
Well, that's not unbelievable.
But it's on an old Walkman, which only Helen gets to hear because it's attached to a set of old headphones.
Couldn't they connect it to a speaker or something?
Hence the unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
So, we just watch Helen listening to something, and then Daniel listening to something, and now Steve, Helen, and Daniel know, but we don't? What kind of storytelling is that?
Well, we did know before they did. Remember all that gooey cloud we saw? Anyway, back in the present, Jules asks Sim what she knows about Lucas and why Bernard made him his shadow, but he doesn't know anything.
Why ask the judge of the silo who's married to the person responsible for giving her those forgetful pills? Doesn't she think that her asking all those questions will get back to Camille?
And it does, but while that happens...
Don't tell me we're going back into the past.
Oh, no, at least not yet. We meet back up with Jules, who wants to go down the silo past the gap.
The gap? Her dad blew up.
She meets with Shirley, who still doesn't like Jules.
For what? For forgetting? What kind of a friend is that? Not even answering a very public message Jules sent her and all.
Well, that interaction doesn't really go too well. But Jules is adamant she has to find Lucas.
The Lucas who's been missing for 3 months?
There's only one Lucas as far as I know, so she grabs a cloth, holds onto the cable and slides down the gap.
Jules has always been very resourceful.
And Knox is there to meet her.
Well, she's not gonna let Knox get in her way.
Well, he assures her the void at the bottom of the silo, the one where Lucas went to, was sealed off 3 months ago. But he might know a guy who might know what Lucas might have learned during his time working in the mines.
And while this is going on, seems to have had a personality transplant, and the naked ambition he had for the last 2 seasons seems to have been replaced by a desire to be close to his son. I mean, what the heck?
The realization that Jules not only doesn't remember her own dad, but has no feeling for what it's like to have had a dad, kind of shook him greatly, I guess. And Daniel telling him what's going on with the shipment of vitamin D plus ain't gonna help, I bet.
Yeah, he knows exactly what it means, and I don't think he's gonna be on board with this.
Well, time will tell.
That's all we ever get, eh? Questions on top of questions and not getting any answers.
It's pretty early in the season, McCluck.
Yeah, like the guy Knox thought could help Jules doesn't know anything.
Or doesn't want to tell her.
Oh no, we know Bernard got Lucas out of the mines, not because he learned something there, but because he had the right mind for Bernard to find out what he wanted to know. That's what Lucas found out, and any probable secret hidden in the mines is a red herring. Always has been.
One thing worth pointing out, we were once told it could take days to go up and down the silo, yet now it seems you can do it in just a few minutes?
Yeah, that's bugging me too, but with all this running around, it's starting to dawn on Jules that if Lucas is indeed alive, he's hiding. And where's the one place you might be able to disappear in this silo?
Ooh, the mines!
That's right, the mines. And it's just dawned on Camille that not only is it where he might be, but since the other silos are so close that Jules managed to get to one so fast, what if Lucas is trying to reach one by digging horizontally?
She tells her theory to the AI, who informs her that if this is really what's going on, it needs to be stopped right now, or it will lead to an immediate safeguard. You mean killing everyone?
Exactly. So Camille orders an immediate fumigation of the mine to kill rats.
Rats? Like Lucas. It's absolute pandemonium. Although, I would have thought the mines were near the very bottom of the silo, but it seems the entrance is all the way up according to what we're seeing.
And why would some people try to prevent the miners from escaping the toxic fumes? What were they expecting? Giant rats?
Not only that, but the gate is just a grill. If they were indeed rats, they would have fled easily while the miners would have choked to death. Makes no sense.
Never mind that. Jules goes into the fumigated mines, tries to help one of the miners who just steals her gas mask, and as she lays on the ground dying of rat poison inhalation, someone rescues her. And that someone is Lucas.
Of all the fumigated mines in all the silo, she bumps into him just as she was dying.
What are the odds, eh?
Never tell me the odds.
One of the most wanted men in the silo gets her out, reveals his face to her, and is now firmly on the run. Luckily, he's found by Danny and Sandy first. Not so lucky are Daniel and Helen. They decided to go back to Steve to get the recording rather than just be okay with having listened to it. But by the time they get back, someone's broken in and ransacked the place.
Oh no! A classic trope. Who would have thought that would have ever happened?
You'd think Daniel could have insisted on getting a copy of the recording or something rather than just listen and go.
Well, if he had done that, then whatever's to come wouldn't have happened.
Oh, you mean it's a so the story can happen situation.
And a heck of a predictable one at that.
But at least we get an answer of what happened to Orla. Oh yeah, she was in the mines and she succumbed to rat poison.
Well, at least that's one mystery solved.
And according to the AI, there's now an opportunity to save the silo without exterminating everyone or making them all forget. Jules is in a bad way, so why not use her bravery when she went into the mines to try and save people to make her even more of a hero, and a dead one at that?
Sounds logical. Eliminate a threat, returning peace to the silo.
Just like they should have done with Juliet.
Except there wouldn't have been a story had they done that.
Don't tell me you think Jules is gonna die.
Well, Camille seems to be up for it, and that's where we leave it for now.
Which is where we come face to face with one of the most frustrating aspects of serial storytelling. When seemingly loads happened, but if you look at it, nothing much did, and we have to wait another week to find out what happens next. The biggest reveal is that Lucas is still alive, but what else did we learn? I mean, really?
Helen got fired.
How's that affecting the story?
Jules cannot come and go as she pleases.
So much for keeping tabs on her at all times. Camille doesn't even seem to care that she's not taking the forgetting drugs.
And let's not forget how easy it is for her to evade anyone who's tracking her. I mean, whatever happened to all the cameras in the silo?
Well, Sims told the people that removed them.
Except people didn't even know what cameras were, remember? When Jules found a camcorder her dead boyfriend had in his possession back in season 1, a relic! Exactly! Old tech no one knew the purpose of. No one knew what a camera looked like, or that they were pretty much concealed behind every mirror in every room. You can't escape surveillance you don't even know exists. Yet now, you can? Seems this so-called decision was just a convenient way to make it easier to hide in the silo for the purposes of the story.
If you paint yourself in a corner, Doc, it's time to break down some walls.
Okay, well, Daniel and Helen got to listen to a recording of his sister's last mission.
Which we didn't get to listen to ourselves, and which was then lost because the super careful Steve got broken into. Oh, and because there was only a single lock on his door.
Guess Steve wasn't paranoid enough.
Okay, what else?
Sims doesn't want to be made to forget.
Yeah, okay. As unbelievable as it may seem, he might become an ally of Jules going forward. He loves his son more than his ambition, suddenly. But fine. What else?
Carla's officially dead.
We'll need more for that to be a satisfying conclusion to a pretty weak thread.
Lucas was hiding in the mines?
Yeah, about that. The silo's a confined space, right? If you're gonna look for someone, why not look in the mines? He's nowhere else, yet despite the fact that everyone wants to find him and have been looking for 3 months, no one, and I mean no one, thought to look in the mines.
It's always disappointing when people have to be stupid for the story to progress.
Like Daniel listening to the recording, leaving, then changing his mind and wanting a copy of the tape, only to find the place ransacked when he gets back. Copying a tape isn't difficult, even if Steve didn't want to do it. We've seen him change his mind before.
To be honest, any paranoid guy would know that the safest way to preserve a recording is to make as many copies as possible and share it far and wide, otherwise it becomes the weakest link in the chain.
That recording was the entire chain, Doc. So, yeah. Jules can now go about as she pleases, and in just a few hours of her wandering around, leads to revelations no one else came to. Like knowing Kat's an outsider when the authorities are looking for a person with a bandaged arm, but no one else thought it could be Kat.
Oh, it's like Jules is turning into a Mary Sue.
Come on, I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, why not? She has no memory yet succeeds where months of investigations and searches have failed. What else would you call it?
Well, on the plus side, Lucas was found by the outsiders, so they'll be able to hide him, and we all know Camille won't kill Juliet.
And that's another thing. Season 1 kept shocking us by killing characters we thought were the protagonist, which made us truly fear for Juliet's safety when she became sheriff. But all that character upheaval, which made for truly exciting drama, has settled down to such an extent we don't even believe she'll be killed by Camille.
Come on, McCluck, at least Bernard's dead.
Don't come on me, Mouse. We don't yet have confirmation of that, and the shots we had of him being incinerated were done in such a way as to leave more than enough doubt. You know how it is. Nobody, no death.
Well, at least we know Camille is determined to do what it takes to save the silo, even if it means gassing unnamed miners to stop some from digging in the wrong place. We all know the AI is powerless to act and relies on people to do as it says.
Aside from being able to release gas that will kill everyone.
Yeah, aside from that.
You do have to wonder why a system supposedly designed to save humanity would actually be programmed to kill everyone.
Yeah, that is an odd one. It's like the people in there are in a prison or something.
After 350 years, talk about punishing the kids for the sins of their parents.
Well, what if it's not 350 years?
What do you mean?
What if it's not that far into the future? After all, don't anyone else think it's odd that the air around the silo is still so deadly? At the start of the show back in season 1, I thought the gas that killed the cleaners was actually in the suit itself. After all, we thought the sky was blue and the grass was green.
That's right. And when they had to switch the engines off for Jules to do the repairs, the main view screen changed from desolate to a lovely green meadow for a split second. What happened to that?
And then we found out that the grass meadow was also a projection put into the cleaner's helmet.
Which is why they always cleaned the sensors when they came out to show people what it was really like.
What they thought it was really like. So, yeah. Why is the air still lethal after 350 years? Look at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We dropped an atom bomb on each in the 40s, yet they're now thriving and bustling 80 years later.
What's your point, Doc?
I'm not sure, Commander. It's just that it doesn't make sense. Either AI is lying about it being 350 years later, or the silos themselves regularly release deadly gas around them to make sure that the population never goes out, making this more of a prison than a survival bunker.
I will never tell.
So yeah, this is yet another chapter which raises far more questions than answers, with Juliet achieving more in a few hours with no memory than anyone else in the silo managed in months.
They should call her Super Jules.
And sadly, we know those flashbacks aren't linked to Lucas learning anything from AI like you were thinking, McCluck.
It would have been an elegant way to link the two stories together. Oh well, guess the writers aren't going for elegant.
Well, maybe we should just accept that those threads are not connected to each other and just enjoy the show as it is.
This is me you're talking to, Commander?
Yeah, I know. I realized it was foolish for me to say that as I said it.
Right. Well, that's pretty much all we have to say about this episode. Let us know what you think in the comments, and we'll give you the response you deserve.
And we see that Juliet is oh my god. She tells the AI that Jules looking for Lucas could be a good thing. It could lure Kennedy out, and they could capture the rebel.
Season 1 kept shocking us by killing characters we thought were the protagonist, which made us truly fear for Julia's safety when she became sheriff. But all that character upheaval, which made us truly...